the Hook, airing on offthehooksports.com, your home for real news, real opinions, and what really matters about Tennessee athletics. The Off the Hook podcast at offthehooksports.com or Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or wherever you go for your favorite podcasts. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, TuneIn, iHeart. Like, share, follow, subscribe. Off the Hook with Dave Hooker starts now.
Please follow and subscribe, and you can hear from Jacob Warren all season long right here with Jacob. I'm Dave Hooker. It's all brought to you by Vassy Lawn and Garden. Man alive, it's worth the drive. Toro, count on it. I got more to tell you about Vassy Lawn and Garden here momentarily. But Jacob, as you can tell by my voice, I'm pretty excited. This is the last week of no football. Now, the Hall of Fame game always leaves me a little deflated. But that not this week, but the next week. We have football on the horizon, so I'm ready to roll.
Yeah, it's coming up, man. It's exciting. It's kind of weird thinking about it. We won't have a free weekend or really time off for, a good little while. So it's time to really lock in and just get to it. It's exciting. It's obviously what we've all been waiting for. So.
I know a lot of things have changed, since I was even close to your age. But I can remember being in my 20s, and they would always do max days right before the season to see how much you can handle. Well, nowadays we've learned that strapping 600 pounds on a bar and bench pressing, like Larry Allen of the Cowboys back in the day, benching 650 pounds is not the smartest thing to do. So what do you do to test how much you've improved in the offseason to now?
Yeah, I think the way that we do it at Tennessee is it's pretty cool, and it makes a lot of sense. It's nothing crazy, but they just set up the curriculum, I guess, or the program in a way where each week we are essentially lessening the reps while increasing the weight percentage of our perceived max. So based on kind of just some of the lifts that we do and how well we do them, they have numbers that they base it off of, but we do a percentage of our maximum bench press or our maximum squat or our max clean. So, say on this day, if my clean was 100 pounds, right? And on this day, we're doing 75% for 3 reps. So that means I'm doing 75 pounds for 3 reps on my last set, right? So it kind of works kind of like that. And I think you see as the summer goes on, at least I've seen that obviously those numbers keep getting bumped up, and what you did last week. We have cards that we write all of our weights down and stuff on. So, it's kind of just a competition with yourself to try to beat last week. And I think if you consistently see growth and you consistently see that you're beating those numbers, that's kind of what you're looking for as far as a sign of progress, I guess.
What's your best lift?
Hang clean for sure.
Okay, so a hang clean, explain to people that don't know what that is. You're holding the bar around right above knee level, and you pop it up.
Right here, and you catch it elbows high in a front squat, and I don't know, it looks really complicated, and it's kind of a tough maneuver or tough lift for some people to get a hold of, but I don't know, we've done it since high school, and I've always felt very comfortable doing it, and can do it pretty well.
So what are you hang cleaning right now?
Hang clean 315 today.
Good gracious! So you could so I could hang on to a bar because I'm 205 now. You may have not been able to get me before we met, but I'm 205 now. So I could hang on to a 45-pound bar and you could clean me up.
I could clean you. Yep.
That is insane.
No, that's definitely one of the ones I feel most comfortable with as far as competing with other guys in the weight room. It's good to look down and be I'm trying to bump my weight up. P-Fan's always right next to me, and he cleans he's just so strong. So, he makes it look easy, and then I'm all right, now I can do that. I'm gonna try to push myself too, but hang clean is a good one for me.
Yeah, it's really almost as much about technique as it is strength, because the way you got to pop, it's a very difficult. I took enough CrossFit classes to know that it is very, very hard, and I never got the hang of it. I think I got up to 45 pounds. But anyway, hey, I wanted to ask you about something that happened last week. So I'm a
Okay.
very blessed individual. I get to work with you and I get to work with Cooper Mays, and I don't ever have to worry about you guys getting in trouble. And I'm not going to name the player, but it was a player on another team. And 2 days before SEC Media Days, I'm sure you've heard about it. We don't even have to name the team. 2 days
Hmm.
before he gets pulled over, gets a DUI with marijuana and a gun in the car. Okay.
Right.
I look at you and Coop, who I didn't talk to about this, but I look at you guys as leaders on this team in some shape, form, or fashion, be it quiet or not, or be it vocal.
Yeah.
What in the world do you say to a guy that's 2 days removed from going to SEC Media Days and he puts himself in that sort of position? What do you say?
Um, I don't know. I think the issue is like this is kind of just a common thing. Like you have people that there's no telling how many times him or other people that have been caught with stuff like that have done it before getting caught, right? It's like someone drunk driving, right? Someone might be drunk driving the first time they do it. It's like, oh wow, that wasn't even that bad. I made it home safe. There was no cops. I'm good. And then the 12th, 13th, 15th time that they are drunk driving, and then sure enough, there's a cop sitting right there, and they're going too fast, and they get pulled over, and they get busted for it. So I think it kind of, I guess people just build up that that they feel invincible, or they feel like whatever, it's not going to be me, I'm not going to be that guy or whatever. And yeah, it's unfortunate whenever things happen and they get caught, but obviously if you're doing things you're not supposed to be doing and you get caught, then that's on you. So yeah, just don't do things you're not supposed to be doing, and you'll be just fine.
Yeah, it's very true. So, is that something that's addressed among teammates when somebody gets in trouble around just their personal group of friends, or is that something where a leader of the team could stand up and say, "Hey, you're hurting the whole team. Don't get in trouble." How are things like that addressed within the framework of a team?
I think it's pretty well understood that um, everyone understands that definitely not something that should be happening and something that you would like to avoid, right? So when something like that happens, I think it's appropriate for the coach to address it to the team. Be like, guys, like I know like everything you've heard, like whatever, whether it's true, whether it's not true, and just kind of put it all out there and kind of I guess some things are just kind of hard to talk about until someone just puts it out there in the open, and then once it's out there, it's like, oh, well, I guess we're talking about it, and so now you start to talk about other things that people may be struggling with, or just trying to encourage guys to, if they feel like they've got to do this, do that, or if they are doing the same thing that the kid had got caught with, like please stop doing it, right? Like this is, and this is like as someone that I'm not on his team, right? So this is what Coach Heupel per se would be saying to us, or with the conversations we would have. But I guess if the kid's on your team, I mean, you just kind of have to um, surround him. I mean, obviously he's still a teammate, he's still a brother, like he's still important to us, right? Whether he ends up being able to stay on the team or not, he's still part of our lives. So I think it's important just to be there for him and kind of learn from his mistake. I guess is all you can do.
Yeah, that's about it. Just so you know, I did vote for you first team, all SEC tight end. There's some
Yeah, there you
Shanker
go.
guy at Auburn. I don't really know him. I don't do a
Yeah,
weekly podcast with him, so he can stay down there. But
right.
well, I know that it would have meant something to be all SEC. Is that just more motivation headed into the season that maybe you're a little overlooked?
Yeah, it's I think we've talked about it before. It's one of those things that I mean I get it. Like I haven't had years like the Bowers and all these other kids, these cats at Georgia that were like all 5 stars. Like I get that, but that's something that you learn to just kind of put behind you. Like I don't care that they have 3 5 stars on their roster. I don't care that this kid caught however many touchdowns. I don't care that this kid had however many yards, right? Because at the end of the day, if I do everything I'm supposed to do, like I'm taking care of my business, right? I can't really change what people think about me. I can't really change what other cats around the country are doing. So yeah, I'm just gonna try to again, I guess use it as motivation. Sure, show them that they should have voted for me or that they should have considered me in the beginning of the season. And obviously I'm gonna appreciate attention when it does come, but yeah, it's not the biggest deal.
I was thinking about it, and when I was voting for you, I was in the back of a car, but I was thinking about it, and I don't know that there's a better pair of tight ends in the SEC when you combine you
Yeah.
and Princeton. I mean, I went through every SEC team, and I couldn't find one that I liked better. You guys should take a lot of pride in that.
And we do. I think that it's really cool that our offense kind of I'm not gonna say revolves around our position, but we play a really big part in just the moving pieces of the offense and the fact that I don't know if you've even noticed, me and Princeton literally split every single like rack. Like it'd be like there's one series, the very first game of the series. It doesn't really matter who starts. He can start, I can start. We actually play rock paper scissors over it before the game. So we play rock paper scissors. He wins. He'll go the first series. I'm in the game the next series, regardless of if he scores a touchdown, if he has 5 catches, no catches. Like I'm in the next series, and I could be playing bad, and he can go in. You know what I mean? And like we're like this is how it works. And so no one. I don't know if people realize that or if people understand that, but like that's why you don't see these big time numbers from either of us. Like Princeton Fant would have just as many yards as just about everybody else in the nation if he was taking all of the reps like the guys do at these other schools, right? And I mean, I think similar with myself. Like we would have all this production, have all the whatever, all the attention for being one of the better in the league if we were taking all the reps. But it's literally physically impossible to do it in our offense just because of the way that we're all the things that we're asked to do. So relying on him, I think it's just really cool that we're both able to go in and operate on the same level, and all the coaches trust either one of us. Like it doesn't matter who's in there. We're running the same plays. We're not changing the playbook. We're going the same speed, everything like that. So having kind of that duo has been really good for me to kind of have somebody to rely on, and also just to share the experience with.
Well, it's cool that you guys are both that selfless, where you're willing to split snaps like that. But when that first came up, because everybody thinks I want to be the starter, I want to be on the field all the time. When
Yeah.
when that first came up, how did that strike you? That you would be splitting even?
um, I mean, like realistically, like it's. I think we both are mature enough to understand that, like, that seriously does not matter who goes out there first. Like, you can play the first play, and then I can play. It really doesn't matter. So I think once we both kind of realize, like we truly need each other to be successful in the offense, and there's a lot of times we're out there together. You know what I mean? And so that's what I petition. I petition to play the very first snap of the game in 12 personnel, so we can both get the start, and then one of us go off the field, and then we just run from there. That's how I always say. He's like, "Who wants to start?" I'm like, "Let's just go 12." But no, like it seriously has been great, and never felt any type of like animosity from him, and I hope he hasn't felt any from me. So we're just happy for each other, I think.
Okay, so wait a second. If I see you guys run out there and you've got 12 people at the first play of the game, that means there's a tight end revolt going on in Tennessee, right?
Not 12 people, just 12 personnel. One running back, 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers.
Oh,
So that
okay.
we're
Oh,
both,
okay. I got you. Oh, okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
yeah.
So a
So that we're
two-tight
both on the
set.
field at the same time. Technically, we could, yeah, the 2 tight end set, so we can both get the start, and then we'll just go off. But then one receiver would have to take the L on that one. So I don't know, maybe one of the young kids or something can take it for it.
I like it. So you mentioned the tight end is kind of the offense revolves around to some extent what the tight end does. Can you
Yeah.
go a little bit more in depth in that? Because as long as we've been talking, I don't think I've heard you use that type of phrasing. Why is the tight end so important in Josh Heupel's offense?
And like I said, I don't think it really like you could run the same offense in 10 personnel, but I think understanding just understanding matchups, understanding defenses. Tight end is a very difficult position to always cover and to always have accounted for, and I don't know. It's just usually when there's adjustments that are made, or when there's little wrinkles that are thrown into a play, it involves us. So it moves us from the front side of a run to now we're on the back side of the run, maybe blocking it a different way, or instead of inserting here, we're going to insert on the other side, or when we're doing motions, right? You see us doing like going in different motions and stuff like that. This time we're gonna run across and then come back out the backside, or we're gonna start on a different side of the field and then we're gonna, it just everything that kind of seems if there's a little wrinkle, if there's an adjustment that needs to be made, it's usually the tight end, pretty much in any offense, that's going to be the one that they put that responsibility onto. And so I think what I mean also by being that missing piece is tight ends, like you kind of have to be pretty smart to play, pretty witty, pretty good on your feet, and understanding when you're wrong and understanding how to make yourself right. Like there's a lot of plays that you're lined up just in the wrong spot and you can't do anything about it because the ball is getting snapped, right? We play really high tempo and you don't have time to be adjusting and moving. So say I line up on the right side behind the line of scrimmage or behind the offensive line, and I know I need to be on the left side, right? And I know I lined up wrong. Like Hendon or Joe, whoever's back there, is just gonna clap. They're gonna snap the ball and understand that I'm aware that I'm wrong and I will make it right. So that's kind of like the trust piece that you develop in the off season, like we've been talking about. Trying to mesh and trying to click and trying to understand what everybody's thinking, and that's kind of what I mean as far as the tight end being the deciding factor, not on whether a play is successful, but as if we're able to do a lot of things and be really versatile in our offense. Does that make sense?
It makes complete sense. Yeah. So also one of the questions I asked Josh Heupel last week was, and you and I have talked about this, being able to run a little bit more clock. I'm not saying run clock, but being able to have that 4-minute offense. And he said quite simply, and we kind of, I think sometimes on the outside as media, we kind of get this upper level thinking and we think too much about it. But he said, basically, well, you got to run the ball. And so, I mean, that, and it's not, he wasn't implying that you guys hadn't, but you just, if you're going to control the ball for a 4-minute offense, which I think you guys would like to develop in, running the football is going to be key, right?
100%. Yeah. That's the only way to ensure that the clock does not stop. Because as long as the ball carrier has the ball in his hands and he stays in bounds, which he wouldn't be running anywhere near the sideline if it was a 4-minute drill. As long as he does that, like, the clock will not stop unless there's a penalty. Obviously, like there's all types of things, but that's the one way to make sure the clock doesn't stop. If we throw the ball, obviously they can drop it and get picked, whatever. So it's just, if you're able to efficiently run the ball down the field, then that's kind of the key to it.
What's more exciting, catching a touchdown pass or something else after 30 seconds from Vassy Lawn and Garden?
To own the more that owns every job, then get to Vassy Lawn and Garden in Cleveland and get you a Toro. I'm David Vassy, here to talk to you about Toro. With a Toro Zero Turn, you'll get more out of every minute and you'll reach the finish line faster. At Vassy's, we like to say, no matter if you're mowing 3 acres a week or 11 lawns a day, homeowners and business owners alike find confidence in equipment they can trust from top to bottom.
Vassy Lawn and Garden, Highway 60 North in Cleveland.
Man alive, it's worth the drive.
So I've talked to offensive linemen about this, but never tight ends. Please like and subscribe if you like the conversation with Jacob. So I understand that scoring a touchdown is awesome, okay? But by the same token, we're just talking about a 4-minute drill and running the football. How does that compare? I'll just ask you, what's better than just taking away a man's will and running it down his throat for an 80-yard drive or scoring the touchdown? Which one?
I think it's so cool whenever, obviously, scoring touchdowns is great. That's what I love. That's what I love to do. So I'm gonna say that's more exciting. But I think nothing. It's like really cool whenever you're like 4-minute drill, right? Like you said, we're slowing the clock down. Our tempo is gone, right? That's what everyone says our biggest advantage is, and that's the only reason that we're successful, right? Whatever. No tempo. We're just standing there, like literally talking to the guys across the line of scrimmage because we know we're not snapping the ball until there's about 4 seconds left on the clock. So we're just sitting there like hanging out, and they call the play in, and we run the play however many times that game already, and like it doesn't matter. Like we'll still be able to run the play successfully, get the first down, whatever it may be. Like say it like, I mean, you understand in 4-minute drills, depending on how much time is left on the clock, I have to get 3 first downs to end the game. We all know that going into the drive. So it's first down, run the ball, second down. If we don't get first down, maybe we throw whatever. But once you get that last first down that like, yeah, that sealed it. Like, that's the game's over. We can just run the clock out. We can take knees, whatever. And like you're a part of it. You're not just out on the perimeter, like just running off somebody for the run. Like you actually like move your guy out of the way and like whatever. It's a great feeling because like no one knows you did it. Like no one's gonna give you the recognition. No one's gonna be like, oh wow, Jacob scored that touchdown. But everyone's gonna be like, oh wow, that run by whoever was really great in that 4-minute drill. But they don't even look at the front where we're all like, the whole. Sometimes they do. But the hole is this wide because a tight end did a good job on a backside cutoff, or the front side double team did an amazing job moving the down lineman to the linebacker and close them off. Like it's very rare that people actually appreciate that, and those are the things that we appreciate in the game. I guess as small O linemen, so
or big receivers,
yeah.
Yeah. By the way, I saw Cedric Tillman. He's every bit of 6'4", if not 6'5". Does he get a growth spurt?
He is also a big receiver. No, he's massive, dude. He's been like that. He grew his hair out a little bit. That might be why. I don't know if he had it braided up or whatever after media days, but no, he's a big dude. Like a lot of people don't really realize how big he is, and he's a buff guy, like really muscular, like really tall, like really a solid player. And I remember like first coming in, people would joke with him about like playing tight end and stuff like that. But no, yeah, he's a real deal.
Yeah, that was the first time I met him in person. He was a lot bigger than he looked on tape. He didn't look small on tape, but I thought I had him pegged kind of 6'3" in my head, and I was like, goodness gracious,
wow.
You're like Jacob tall. All right,
Yeah.
so he's Jacob Warren. Next time we talk, we'll be talking about practice.
Mm-hmm.
That's before your time. The Allen Iverson.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, obviously. Come on now.
I still defend him for that, and I was like the only one because he is talking about practice. A guy that gives it 120,000% during every game. Too small, should have lifted weights, but gives it his all. And we're talking about practice. He actually had a really good point. It just didn't convey correctly.
Didn't stick.
I don't know why I'm trying to save AI all these years later. He is Jacob Warren. I'm Dave Hooker. This has been a production of Off the Hook Sports. Don't forget to go to Vassy Lawn and Garden, Vassy.com. Man alive, it's worth the drive.